It's the morning. You all asked for a morning show, so here we are. It's early. I got a big day ahead of me, and I have a huge show to share with all of you today. Huge. Take a look at the thumbnail, shall we? Right on. That's all I got to say is right on. This is just one of those shows that is just going to just blow your mind. Blown! I got to tell you something. Every time I think I'm out, I'm drawn back in by the powerful message that I see and the things that are going on in the world. That's what I do if you're new to the channel. I really hope that you have subscribed. If you haven't already, you can. There's a little button. You just click it, and it helps. It's very appreciative, too. Yeah, so we just had the Met Gala. We're going to talk about the Met Gala. We're going to talk about the Coronation. We're going to talk about things that are hidden in plain sight. We're going to talk about huge events that are going down, weather patterns, things with the finances, things with the news, things with the media. It's all connected. It's all connected. And it's all very exciting. Let's start off with the Met Gala, though, because that's the very first thing that we want to get out of the way. Because I'm not that into the weird stuff too much. I mean, there was a lot of weird stuff that went down. So, of course, it was on May Day. That's May 1st. Welcome, everyone. That's right. I can see you because now I got two screens going. So, welcome to the live chat. If you're there, let me know where you are coming from. And say, good morning, Jacob. Yakov. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And if you're watching this on playback, please hit the like already, will you? When you hit that like button and when you share that link, you know what it does? It tells YouTube, you got to tell other people about this show. Because you know what? Everybody's so freaked out with all the scary things that are going on in the world. And a lot of the stuff that I'm going to share on surface level, it's going to seem scary. But we're going to push past the fear because the scriptures say that there is torment and fear. And God gives us peace and power and that of a sound mind, and has a plan. The end, by the way, is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And we're going to get there. The Omega weather block. This is huge. All of these things together. But let's start with the Met Gala, okay? The gala, which, by the way, hey, Lauren Sawyer's here. Thank you, Lauren. Always with the 1111s. I love it. One of my favorite numbers. My favorite numbers. So yeah, it started on May 1st, and it was a big event. Started at like 6:30. It was live streaming. Everybody was excited. I was excited because the first this is true. The first footage I saw was that of a cockroach that was crawling onto trying to get into the back. They were actually, you know what they were doing? They were like literally taking pictures of this thing, and they were like videoing this thing. This cockroach took center stage. It was in all of the articles. You know, Met Gala 2023, red carpet invaded by a single cockroach. That's right. That's not actually on your screen. I put that there. All these little slides I create individually, I try to make them look cool. You got to let me know in the comments section if you like the way I'm doing the old live streams, because I'm not like Marfugal. I don't know, you know, they got this stuff on lockdown. Me, I'm just getting by. So, single cockroach, and of course, there's just a couple of the goofballs, Little Nas X dressed up there, and of course, Jared Leto dressed up as a cat. The cat theme is a big thing. A cat thing is a big thing. And as Lone Dogism says in the live chat, roaches follow the garbage. Is that, well, we're not going to call them garbage, but I think that some of the things that these elites believe in and do, I think it is garbage. And a lot of them are into like Egyptian gods, like legitimately into Egyptian gods. Egypt's like a big thing. It's all over the scriptures, of course, you know. God had to deliver his people from the grasp of Egypt. Same thing's happening today, right? Same thing's happening today. We've had the flood. We were told to enter the ark. There's a great passage in Scripture. It says, as the Son of Man was in the heart of the earth for, 3 days, so too. It's a Scripture, just like Jonah. 3 days in the belly of the great beast. Son of Man will be 3 days in the heart of the earth. And where's the heart? Your home. Your home's where your heart is. And we were locked down for like three days, 3 months. How long was it? It was a while. And that day in Scripture that they talk about is just a period of time. Okay, but let's just get back into Egypt. So in other words, what I'm getting at, people, is this is a good day. This is a day where we're going to be set free. We're already being set free. We're sort of in the wilderness right now. In the end days, they say that the prophets, we'll say the witnesses, will sing the song of Moses, right? Exodus. This is happening today. So it's no wonder when Lizzo, or is it Lizzo? I don't know how to pronounce these. I don't even know who these celebrities are. Miriam's says, amen, Jacob. She says, this man knows love right here. Laugh out loud, God's witness. Oh, you're all God's witnesses. That's what we're supposed to be. Well, there's Dojo Cat. Dojo Cat, remember her? I think the last big event I talked about her, she dressed up as She-Hulk, the red She-Hulk. She had all the stuff on her. But, she dressed very much like a cat. And the first thing I thought of course, was the goddess of pleasure and protection. Bastet, that Egyptian god, the cat that you see there in that little picture that I shared on Twitter. But in the background, let me see if I can enhance this so you can actually really get a good clue as to what I'm talking about. In the background over there, you can actually see that those are hieroglyphs. It's all Egypt, I'm telling you. And guess what's happening? Egypt's coming down. How's it happening? Well, Egypt back in the day comes down because Nebuchadnezzar comes in and shuts everything down. That's the day we're in. Nothing new under the sun. It's all happening. It's all coming together. Do you know? Now here's where it gets cool. I have so much planned to share with you this morning. I'm really excited. I wanted to get the Met Gala out of the way because really it's not that interesting to me. Some of the outfits that they wore, interesting, right? Some of it. A lot of it was symbolic of the coronation, believe it or not. With the roses, we're going to see that. We're going to talk about the coronation in a little while because, believe it or not, even though I've covered so much in my last couple of shows, right? From the stone, if you're new, he's going to be coronated. That means crowned. This big event's going to happen on May 6th. May 6th, there's also coming off of a lunar eclipse that takes place in Scorpio, which is weird. All of this stuff is weird. Happens, Cinco de Mayo the day before. I've talked about all this. The stone, they just found the numbers 35 etched into it. Roman numerals 35. We track that back to the actual day, according to 1 Corinthians 15, to when Jesus was probably resurrected for the first time, 35 AD. It's quite interesting because 1 Corinthians 15 is used to denote that, and 1 Corinthians 15 talks about the end days resurrection of the dead being us in our ignorance. We're going to come into power and glory. This is a good day to be alive. So when they're screaming Mayday, 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 I'm also looking at something else. So now this guy, Karl Lagerfeld, the whole thing with the Met Gala, it was all about this guy. Okay? His, the work of Karl Lagerfeld. A lot of people dressed up like him. A lot of people were wearing outfits inspired by him. Well, you know what Karl means? Free man. Free man. So it was in honor of Karl. Get this. Okay, because what the enemy means for harm, God means for good. So even if they don't know what's happening, deep down, God is revealing something. They may be right now parading around as kittens and furries and all sorts of weird things as the cockroaches crawling up and entering into the gala. They may be doing all that stuff and acting all weird and dressing all funky. But God is saying, you're actually honoring, whether you know it or not, the free man. The free man. But here's where it gets even weirder, because there are these two harvests in Scripture. okay? There's like the wheat harvest, and there's the barley harvest. The barley harvest is like the last one, okay? You got the first fruits, and you got the everybody else coming in. We would be in like the barley harvest. Now, I'm not a big beer drinker, all right? Actually, I'm been cutting back on the old vino. I drink the Pinot Noir because I'm trying to really lose weight and be healthier. So, but I'm not a beer drinker. I'm not a big beer drinker, you know. But I do find it interesting that there is this big push right now against beer. Beer, which is made from bottom fermenting yeast. Bottom fermenting yeast. Yeast that's been on the bottom, it's fermenting. Right? It's turning bad. Yeast. You know what yeast is? They say, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. Yeast is a symbol of pride, people. Bottom fermenting yeast. That's how beer is made, just so you know. But isn't it made of barley? You got to tell me in a live chat. You got to tell me in the comments section. I think it's made of barley. I think so. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm sure you can make beer of all things, right? You could probably make it of potatoes, for all I know. I know you make vodka out of that stuff. But lager has to do with barley and beer. So this whole event sort of can be looked at from a different point of view, from a higher point of view. And we can now say that perhaps this is a celebration of the free man at the end of the barley harvest, right? Where right? That's why people are saying no to beer. No to the beer right now. It's an interesting thing. Fermented yeast. Very interesting. But not as interesting as some of their outfits. Just for those of you that want to see, I just want to show you some of the outfits just so you can get a little bit of an idea. We'll go quick. Oh, by the way, Tucker Carlson. This is another thing, too. I wanted to kind of briefly talk about this. Tucker Carlson, obviously the fox just let him go, right? Fox, don't let the little fox spoil the vine. Everything is symbolism, people. Everything is symbolism. So now we just learned that Carl means, what does Carl mean again? It means free man. That's right. The free man. So Carl's son would be the son of the free man. You know what Tucker means? Tucker means to tire out, to wear out. The fox has finally let go of the free man who has been worn out by how corrupt this corporate system is. I found that interesting. All right, so here's some of the outfits, and you'll notice a lot of it seems very, I don't want to put pagans down, or that's just weird. You know, I mean, there's a guy dressed as a bride. I don't know. What are you going to do? But a lot of it has that kind of a feel. You see a lot of black and white and a lot of like checker themes. Some of it has to do with, you know, we could say some kind of, who's that? That's the Greers. Isn't that okay. All right. We're just going to pass that. A lot of people say, oh, this is, very Freemasonic because of the colors and everything else. And maybe, but I see something else going down. And there's obviously there's Karl Lagerfeld, the field of the fermenting barley yeast, being dragged on the same carpet that the roach walked on. But yeah, so a lot of these outfits, people are they're going bananas for, and but you'll notice a theme. See a lot of roses. We're in a little while. You're going to find out why that's so incredibly interesting. A lot of roses, right? Coronation roses, if you will. Bare stem, bare root roses. We're going to bring it down to the root, baby. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the cool stuff. I'm tired of these celebs. So, but there is kind of a connection to the stuff that's going on in the Met Gala and the stuff that's going on in the world. Happened on May Day. A lot of things happen on May Day. First Republic Bank. Oh no, right? Hey, get yourself a God's Champion mug. It's not wormwood tea, I'm going to save that for the second Passover, which just happens to be same time as the Coronation. Second Passover. If you haven't seen it, go back, watch my my videos. It's interesting. You have to toggle between videos and live. I don't know why YouTube does it this way, but you can just go watch my last couple of shows. Not my live shows, the videos that are produced. They really kind of spell out everything about this coronation. So much to it that I wish I should probably put them all together to release them as a film. But we got an interesting thing to look at right now, and it is this storm that this is shocking. Okay. The Donut actually talked about this too. Shout out to Alex. We're going to be me, Marfugal, AMTV, Chris from AMTV. I believe his name's Chris. Used to watch him. And Donut and him work together, and we're doing like a super show. I think it's going to be on May, I think 7 p.m. tomorrow. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard tomorrow. But the Donut just did something about this. You know, as I was loading the show, I actually turned his show on. I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe I could take some info. And when he put out his first show, you look at the bottom corner, you'll see the dollar bill. There's the Omega sign in the dollar bill, which he pointed out so brilliantly. When he put that show up, I added Elon to the picture, and then I sent it back to him on Twitter. I'm like, hey, check this out. Because if you remember correctly, I did a bunch of shows about resisting the current thing and how I feel like this house of cards is about to collapse. But we have this Omega block that just kind of went down and is still kind of going down all over, guess where? The United States, my friends. The end. The end. Omega. That's what Omega is. So if you take a look at that little formation, we got over 1,000 people watching. Barely any of you hit the like. Barely any, less than half of you hit the like. Now I know, you know why? Because I haven't told you to. Do me a favor, real quick. Just as I'm talking to you right now, just X out of chat, go down, just click that like. It would mean so much to me. It really would. Especially, I mean, if you're watching, right? It just means a lot. It helps. It doesn't cost you anything. You're doing something nice for somebody. Somebody that's been working hours and hours and hours, worked almost 11 hours yesterday getting this show together for you. And then I woke up this morning, 5:45, to get it to get it all, finished up. Okay. Thank you for hitting the like for those of you who do. I see a lot of you. You're doing it right now because you're amazing. You're all amazing, and I love you. God bless all of you. So happy for all of you and so grateful for all of you. Okay, the Omega block. The Omega, which is the very last, the 24th, I believe, letter of the Greek alphabet. 24, which also, by the way, is the symbol for Jupiter. Jupiter, which is the king planet. Yeah, if you ever see the symbol for Jupiter, it looks like 24. That's why we see a lot of 24s behind the Trumpster, right? And also, guess what else is coming to us in 2024? The Great American Eclipse. So if you look at that top right-hand corner, that's a video I did almost 5 years ago. It says 4 years ago, but it's almost 5 years ago, where I talked about we were going to enter a time that was going to be very difficult. And I said with every year progressing, it was going to get harder and harder and more claustrophobic. And about halfway through, I said it was going to kick up into high gear. And if you take a look at that, that's a picture of the two great American eclipses. It's smack dab in the middle, cross-sects, in a place called Little Egypt, Carbondale, which is the Valley of Carbon, which is what we're made of. Carbon. What is it, 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons? Symbolic. But it makes a big X over the United States. Now look at the left-hand side of the screen. There's a big Omega all over the United States of America. Bye, bye, Miss America Pie. That's what Michael Scott would say on Twitter. The end is the end of the United States of America coming. Symbolically, that's what it looks like. Or is it the end of a terrible, greedy, horrible system? Who knows? The donut actually thinks it really does have a lot to do with finance, and I agree. Considering I've talked about all of the kooky stuff that went down with the banks before the banks went down. It's true. It's true. It's all true. Let's take a quick look at this one more time. We're going to take a look at the alphabet. The Greek alphabet, omega is the last one. What comes right before the omega sign? That's the psi sign. That's where we get psychology from. And psychology, of course, the trident, which we've seen often, again and again and again. We see this trident everywhere we go, right? Well, that's probably where we are, and omega is where we're going into. Donut also pointed out that the logo for the Kentucky Derby was the omega sign. But once again, this 7-year warning. Now, this, my friends, is where the show is going to get very, very interesting. I'm glad that you're here. There's 671. I was going to say the 666 because it was there for a second, but then it jumped to 71, which is good. Thank you for hitting the like button. But I see all of this happening. It's like, God, Jesus said, he said, you could tell what the weather's going to be like tomorrow by the signs. You look at the sky, you say, oh, it's going to be a nicer day tomorrow. If you're Italian, and if the sky is nasty, you'd be like, "Oh, it's going to be a terrible day." That would be what you would say if it looks like it's going to be a bad day. You could tell by looking at the weather, But you look at the signs. It's like if you're driving down a road, you see a sign, you're like, oh, "Okay, our exit's coming up in about 5 miles." So you have an idea of what's coming by the things you see. But Jesus also pointed out to everybody, okay, that none of you were paying attention to the signs of the times. This guy's paying attention, people. This guy's paying attention. So when I see the omega sign right over the United States, and for years I talked about the X over the United States being the end, if you will, of a corrupt system in the United States. Well, let's just say that I think that that's a sign we need to pay attention to. And you want to know what else? It's going to get a lot more interesting because this is where it gets really weird. Okay, so as that's going down, Michael Scott, who is the coolest dude, he's on Twitter. He shares so much interesting stuff. You should follow him on Twitter if you get a chance. That's him in the left-hand corner. I've been trying to encourage him to do videos and everything else. But he kept sending me this about the Bye-Bye Miss American Pie. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm not feeling it right now. I don't know where to put it right now, And so yesterday, as I was putting this show together, I'm like, oh, that's why he kept sending it to me, because it's the perfect title for my video. Perfect title. The South Korean president at the White House sang Bye-Bye Miss American Pie. I even asked Michael, I'm like, why do you keep sending this to me? And he says, well, because he's singing. It's the end of the United States. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but why? It didn't click yet. Didn't click. Like, I understood the symbolism of it, but I was like, but really, is it? And now I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm pretty sure he was right on the money with that one. So, Bye-Bye Miss American Pie, not the coolest thing to be singing in front of Dark Brandon, right? Not another thing that's really kind of spooky is the fact that the godfather of AI has resigned from Google, which warning of the dangers of AI, which it seems like a lot of people are warning about. Now, this is kind of a stressful thing. This is kind of a stressful thing because we pretty much are allowing AI to kind of run everything anyway, right? And there's no regulation. All of this stuff adding up is it's not that great. It's not that great. But I will say another thing. Hey, do me a favor too, by the way, because I'm looking at my screen and it looks very, very. It looks like this is all shoddy. So forgive me if the quality is not great. Hopefully it's just this computer over here. But if it isn't great, just bear with it because this show needs to be heard and you'll see why. So bye-bye Miss American Pie. You add that up with the Omega sign. You add that up with the fact that we've been warning about this for a while, and it starts to kind of spell something out. And the question is it a good thing for us or a bad thing for us? And I'm going to say it's a good thing for us. Now, I want to take you back just a little bit. I want you to take a look at the world in 2017. That's the Economist magazine cover. Okay. Earlier, I showed you a video where I said their house of cards was about to fall. And when I was loading that, I reminded myself of the cards that were on the world in 2017. And I said, you know what? I bet you every single one of those cards is a year. I bet you they all add up to a year. Mark Troost is telling me that it's okay here and says that he loves me. He didn't say that. He says, much love, meatball. But I am a meatball. And I love you too, Mark, if that's what you're saying. Okay, so everybody's saying equality is great. So this is really just, my computer messing with me, trying to get me off my game. But you're not going to do it, fuzzy screen. You're not going to do it. So if you take a look at the world. Now, this is the Economist magazine cover. A lot of people say that this is kind of a predictive thing. And I said that. If you look to the right of that, you'll see World In and you'll see Planet Trump. And that's actually his NFT, which I pointed out in a prior video that I thought was pretty interesting because it looked exactly like the judgment card. That Trump was going to bring judgment to, the world, not just the United States, but to the world. But if you look at 2017, that's the tower. That's very symbolic of a division that takes place. And man, what a division took place over this presidency, right? With Trump and everything, right? You got the left and the right, and you want to talk about the tower being ripped down too? That's the case. That's what happened. 2018, Trump comes on the scene. He starts making things happen, right? Then that world card, you look into these cards and what they mean, it starts to freak you out because 2019, that would be the perfect card for it. Then you get the Hermit card, 2020. And what were we doing in 2020? We were all being a bunch of hermits. March 11th, 2020, the day everything changed, the day where it became the thing. 2020, go to your homes. Isn't that strange? Then you look at 2021, the death card. What was everybody talking about? All the people that passed away. 2022, it was all about Meta. Remember? Everybody, but if you look at that magician card, and we know that MAGA means sorcerer, magician, Magus, Simon Magus, the magician. It has the actual Ouroboros logo. Let me see if I can just point that out so I can show it to you. I'll pull it down a little bit so you can take a look. So if you take a look, you can actually see, the Meta sign, which, by the way, Meta means death or dead, the place of the dead. Isn't that interesting? And then we go into 2023. This should be really, let me know in the live chat if this is starting to hit you, if you're catching this, because this is insanely cool to me. Insanely cool to me that 2023, the Wheel of Fortune, you know what the Wheel of Fortune's about? If they be corrupt. It's about the people that were in charge, the bad people, it's about taking their power back, giving it back to the people. It's about people being held accountable. And that's the day we're in. We're seeing that. Then, of course, 2024 has that comet in the center and, of course, a lot of little children. It's the star. And we know that 2024, we expect really big things. 24, of course, being what? The Omega, the end. Now, does this mean the end of the world? No. It means the end of a system. It means the end of the way things were. They were telling us there was going to be a great reset for a long time because there is. There is a great reset going down. Let me show you something too. I want to show you, speaking of Meta, let me pull this up on my, okay, so now this was, Alyssa pointed this out to me. This was a performance and from Meta Angel. I want to make sure that there's no volume though, because I don't want to get hit with anything. Let's just take a look at this, okay? So Meta, once again, remember, very symbolic, connected to, in my opinion, AI, connected to, well, obviously the place of the dead, right? But if you watch this performance, now this was at the Met Gala. Now look in the background. If you look at that moon, it flashes into a brain, turns into a brain. You'll see it in a second, okay? This is the angel of death, okay? And all these spooky masks that are there's the brain. You see it? That was an MRI of the brain. All right? Now, I've been doing a lot of shows about things sneaking in and kind of taking over our minds, if you will. Not a great thing to be possessed by demons, devils, AI, right? The word on the street is it's already going down, right? The word on the street is it's already going down. I don't know. Did I display transfer over? Let me make sure that you actually saw that, because I probably did what I usually do, which is I talked and I was looking at it on my end and I didn't show you, which is normal. That's normal. You know, it's been a while since I've done the old live streams. Thank you again for everybody hitting. We almost have 1,000 likes already. Thank you very much. So you see that? That's spooky. The angel of death, the Meta Angel with the brain possession. Those look like ghouls. Those look like demons. That, to me, I feel, has a lot more to do with AI and artificial intelligence than you think. Really, I do. I think there's a lot going on, and I think it's very spooky, especially when you add the 2024, you add that card into the mix, the Omega sign right over the United States of America. Come on. How wild does it have to get before people are like, maybe it's time to pray? Maybe it's time to pray. Thank you, Equine. I knew I wasn't screening. I think I figured it out. I think you got a chance to see it. Yeah, that was creepy as heck. That was creepy as heck. See something, say something. You saw it and you said something, and I noticed. Very creepy. I appreciate all of you in the live chat. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Miss America Pie. Godfather of AI resigns. They're already talking about how AI can influence people. I've done videos about this where I made jokes, right? I even did, last week I shared the little goofy skits that I do, my little hilarious skits. One of them I did was about how, Neuralink and everything else. Who needs a Neuralink? Who's to say that we haven't already been infiltrated and that there is now the ability for this to happen? I'm not saying that's the case. I'm a writer. So I just start to imagine things. That's why I put out on Twitter. Let me see if I can show this to you. I put out on Twitter this thing because I wanted to really warn people. I really wanted to warn people. Let's see if I can find it quick. We got so much more to get into. Oh, this was Ethan. I got to show you this because this is just cute. All right. Free hugs.
Free hugs, bro.
What else you got to say?
Could you give me a hug?
How cute. That's my little man. That was during 2020. The old lockdown, right? The old lockdown. So here it is. All right. Let me just pull it up so you can take a look at it. I said, everyone, you need to be extra careful with your thought in the coming week. Don't listen or agree with any hateful or fearful thought. Resist the devil. Get it? See that in there? See those two letters? And those demon thoughts will flee. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness. What is spirit but thought? Jesus said, my words are spirit and they are thought. Spiritual wickedness in high places. And that's just a picture of some kind of AI algorithm saying I control you. But I am of the belief that if you take your thoughts captive, that you can cast out these devils, just so like Jesus said. You think God is limited and can't overcome some kind of algorithm? God who created man, man then created the beast in his image, right? It's very interesting. The number of that beast, 666. Spiritually significant because, of course, I think it has to do with the carnal idea of who we are, but you could also say WWW. The 666, that's the internet. You could say that that's what man created in their image, AI. And here it is. And now what happens? It's going to take over. It's going to go into the temple of God and declare itself to be God, right? This is what the devil does. Goes inside, you're the temple of God, goes inside, says, then you got to listen to it, but you think it's you, but it's not you. Take your thoughts captive. Pay attention to the thoughts you think. Let love lead you. Let it be your litmus test. I'm giving you what they call a key to the kingdom. Jesus said this. I give you the keys to the kingdom. Whatever you bind in heaven is bound in earth. Whatever you think you can't do, you can't do. Whatever is loosed in heaven is loosed in earth. Whatever you believe will happen, will happen. Faith makes it so. This is important in the coming days because some people are going to get trapped and they're going to go into that little, the magician with the little boxes, the little houses, little boxable houses. It's going to happen. But not for me and not for you. And let me tell you why I know that this is going on right now, okay? But let me tell you why I also think that this house of cards is going to fall. Because God's in charge and God is showing us Omega. Omega. And on May Day, on May the 1st, which is a big day, of course, we got a lot of people watching. Thank you all. Oh, we're like 40 shy of 1,000 likes. How cool is that? And you want to know something else? I'm like 2,000 subs shy of 200,000. I don't ever ask for subs and everything else. I tried not to annoy you. I just ask for the likes because I know it's easy. And I know some people don't want to create an account and everything else. If you watch me on a regular basis, please do subscribe. Let's get over that 200,000 hurdle. I promise I will do a big live show and maybe I'll even have guests on. Maybe. If I could figure out how to do it. But May Day, do you know what happened? First Republic Bank sells its assets. It was taken over. Regulators seized the First Republic Bank. Seized it. The First Republic seized it. I want us to just think about words here. Look at the signs. A republic is a state where sovereignty rests with the people and their representatives, rather than with a monarch. Power to the people, rather than power to the king. Pledge yourself to the king, which is going to happen. We're going to see as the show continues. That republic has been seized. No longer First Republic anymore. No longer power to the people anymore. No longer. Somebody's calling me. I'm not going to answer it because I'm in the middle of a live show. Probably I'm getting an MRI today. And I also took prednisone because the doctor gave me prednisone. I have some issues. I got Crohn's disease. I have AS. I got a lot of pain. So he's like, yeah, take this like Metropack. So if I'm a little more high-strung, a little hyper today, it's the juice, baby. It's the juice. It's prednisone. It's not good for you. Didn't really want to take it, but I've been in a lot of pain and like, you got to take it. So I'm going in for an MRI too, to just make sure I'm okay. You can say prayers for me. I'll be fine. I'm always fine. First Republic's been seized though. So I wrote, a republic is a state where sovereignty rests with the people. The First Republic has been seized by bankers, JPM. Spiritual meaning, seized before you pledge yourselves to the king. Burn hair. Mayday. JP Morgan to the rescue. Burn hair. House on fire. Isn't that interesting? Now, if you look above that, some of you that have been watching for a long time and then you've been on the channel for a long time and you know me very well, you know that I told everybody that the crash was coming. I said it's coming because I saw bears everywhere. I look at the signs. It seems a little silly. People are like, "Oh yeah, bears everywhere. Yeah. So it's gonna be a finance thing, right?" It turned out to be. So I was correct. Is the crash coming? I said, actually, the original title was The Crash Is Coming. I changed it because it got hit, got demonetized. And it still is to this day, which I don't know why. Will we bear it? But then I said, beware the Ides of March is here. That's where you see that Omega sign for the first time. The next 2 weeks changes everything. And guess what happened? It changed everything. It did. We had all the first collapse. Now this one's even bigger. This one is even bigger. It's huge, huge. Now, when it seems like it's like, oh, the system is taking power from the people. Newsflash. We've never had power. We've been slaves to a system thinking we were free. This is the same thing that happened back in Egypt when Israel was a slave to Pharaoh. And Moses came on the scene and says, let my people go. I actually did a video back then, right before the old virus of the crown, saying, let my people go. I said, it's going to come. Plagues are coming. Said, the flood is coming. And it came. Oh, my goodness. But they didn't. What did they do? They didn't let us go. They made things harder. You got to do this or else. You got to do this or else. Nobody's being held accountable. We see a lot of stuff, but I believe that God is going to make things right. That Pharaoh did the same thing. Pharaoh did the same thing. He's like, he was like, yeah, go pray to your God. But then he's like, you know what? Make them make their own bricks. Let them find their own hay and their own this, because they used to provide the materials. Now they're like, you got to do it yourself. What did they do here? You can't go to this restaurant. You can't go there unless you do this. Terrible what they did. They made things harder. Same thing. Same story. And in the end, what happens? The 144,000, they sing the song of Moses. Do you hear me singing it? Let my people go, and we're going to be set free. How do I know? Death of the firstborn, death of that carnal nature, death of that. And that's why we see a lot of stuff happening too in the world having to do with the youngsters. And there's a lot of anxiety around, Arcturus, that new Arcturus. I did a show about that new virus of the crown that's out. Which is very symbolic in, go back and watch the show. So the First Republic being seized, what if it's just God saying, you've done things wrong for too long. I'm taking it back. I'm taking charge now. Jesus, take the wheel, right? Isn't that the song? God's going to take the wheel in your life now. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord. God says this about Zerubbabel, his witness, who reveals the capstone, the headstone, stone of destiny, stone of Jacob. This stone is a big deal for the day that we're in. This is very symbolic, and I wanted to go into the city, and I wanted to see if I could find it today. I wanted to do all this before May. Maybe I'll get there on the 5th. I don't know. I don't like leaving. I'm a homebody. Jacob's a guy that dwells in tents, I like to cook. I like to clean. I'm a really good cook, too. I made some awesome salmon last night. You should eat healthy, by the way. I'm paying more attention to the food. It's important. So, power is no longer with the people. But is this a bad thing? Well, at the same time that this is happening, we start seeing things like this. Vice Media reported headed for bankruptcy, coming to an end. All of this stuff really, really makes a person think. Could there be more to the story? There's more. Oh, it is the best part of the show. Okay, so vice. What is a vice? A vice is immoral and wicked behavior. Look at the signs, people. Let's not pay attention to the fact that it's a magazine and that mainstream media is dead. Let's not pay attention to that. Let's look at the word. Vice. It's bankrupt. It's not going to be going on anymore. First Republic being seized. Y'all did it wrong. You didn't know what you're doing. I'm taking the wheel. No more immoral behavior. No more BuzzFeed. I wrote this on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, it's Jacob Israel 71. Follow me. You will be glad that you did. Vice isn't defined as immoral, wicked behavior up until this day, but it is. Isn't the need to feed your intoxication the only thing that leads you astray? Oh, I actually wrote this as a poem. Here we go. Vice and BuzzFeed is going away, but isn't vice defined as immoral, wicked behavior up until this day? Isn't the need to feed your intoxication the only thing that leads you astray? Here is why to God you should cry, because if they be corrupt, they are going away. Hashtag Omega Code. 24. The end. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Omega. Oh my God. Omega. Oh my God. Omega. Oh my God. Omega. Oh my God. Let's take a look at how you pronounce Omega for a second. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what people are going to be saying. Oh my God. Jacob told me it was going to be like this. Oh, thank God that I'm praying. Oh my God. Omega. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woo. That is where it gets cool. All right. This is where it gets cool. All right. So power's no longer with the people. We got that. We figured it out. Vice is going away. Immoral behavior is going away. Wickedness is going away. You're all going to be made white like my friends Nancy and Rick tell me. They sent me a thing about the signet ring. It can be made white. This, the black swan becoming the white swan. It was a great thing. I love you guys. Hope you're watching. All right, so this is King Charles and Camilla's announcement. Oh, these people are interesting, right? Interesting. I bet you didn't know this, though. If you look at the right-hand side of the coronation of their majesties, by command of the king, the Earl Marshal is directed to invite you to be present at Abbey Church of Westminster on the day of 6th May. Look on the bottom. See that green guy? Now look to the right. That's that guy. He also looks like Baphomet. He also looks like Pan, because that's who he is. He's the Green Man. King Charles' coronation invite becomes engulfed in paganism row over prominent use of ancient green man symbol that has appeared for many centuries all over the place. And not just that, but in Wicca, the green man is used to represent the horn god, the deity that incorporates the aspects of Cernunnos and the Greek god Pan. Do you know who Cernunnos is? Do you know who Cernunnos is? You probably heard of CERN. Do you remember the that tunnel? The tunnel opening over there in Switzerland. It's like demonic, spooky. They use 666 drill bits to drill that tunnel. It's so weird. Go look it up. Cernunnos was in that. The Green Man was in that. Pan was in that. Baphomet was in that. And the king has them prominently displayed on his invite. Weird. Strange. But not as strange as the fact that there is an eclipse going on at the same time that this is all going down. But do you know that this eclipse and a Scorpio moon, the May full moon, astrologically speaking, the full moon will be in Scorpio. Take a look at Prince Charles wearing a scorpion around his neck. When he was speaking at that's what is a CO pack, whatever, the place about the climate. So at his coronation, he's going to ask everybody to pledge allegiance. Not everybody's having a good time thinking about it. But Charles wears this necklace with a scorpion for his second speech at COP26 on Tuesday. His speech highlights the need to honor the rights of local communities, leading him to explain his choice of necklace. Scorpion. Interesting. Because in the end, scorpions, will they come out and they torment those that have not been sealed. There's this bottomless pit that opens up in the book of Revelation, And out of them comes these creatures. They look like they have sting is in their tail. The sting is in their tail. The sting of death, sin. Their tail. A tail is a lie. Story. Hi, a tail. Get it? Sting is in their tail. Scorpions in the last days are going to torment men on the earth, except for those that have been sealed. And I told everybody, you got a second chance, baby. You don't got to wait no more. You can say, Lord, take over. I'm ready. No more Vice here. No more BuzzFeed here. I don't need to feed the buzz. I want to feed the spirit. Give me some love, Lord. It's interesting. I'm getting the chills because I know where the show is going. I know what I'm about to share with you. That's why I hope that you share this video around. I hope if you're not subscribed that you do. I know I can be a little excited, but it's an exciting time to be alive now. On April 28th, the 27th, probably at 3 a.m. I'm a big dreamer. I get a lot of dreams. Jacob's a dreamer, right? Dreamed of that ladder. I got that ladder now in my altar that I built for the Lord here in my house. I had a dream, and I'm going to show you that dream, okay? In the dream, it was a crazy realistic cruise ship dream. I didn't know it was a cruise ship. I just knew that it was a ship that carried a lot of people. There was, I don't know, maybe like, it was like, you know, a bunch of people. There were a bunch of people there. It wasn't like a resort place, but it was a big ship. It was a passenger ship, and it caught fire. So it woke me up. Actually, you could take a look. Look, I even, the timestamp, 3:28 a.m. I actually immediately put it on Twitter because I thought that it was symbolic. I didn't know why. I said, we escaped to the dining hall for the first meal. So the ship caught fire, but the captain and the crew put it out. And we escaped for the first meal. A ship, passenger ship, at sea. Sea is unrepentant mankind. I was in the ship, and it caught fire. I wasn't worried for whatever reason. A lot of people were freaking out. I wasn't. But the captain and the crew, they put out the fire, and we went to the dining hall and then we ate. We enjoyed a first meal. So I thought this is incredibly interesting. I said this is something that needs to be talked about and shared because I felt like there's probably going to be some kind of a ship that catches fire. I didn't know. I just felt like it was one of those. Now. This is where it gets wild. You know that I've been talking a lot about this stone of destiny, right? And you know, if you're new to the channel, if you're new, I welcome you. I talk a lot about dreams. Dreams, a third of the scriptures, by the way, are written about dreams. A third of them, dreams and visions. Okay? God speaks to us in a dream, and as man sleeps on his bed at night, in a dream, in a vision of the night, he speaks to us, yea once, yea twice. Man doesn't perceive it. But so what he does is he comes and he talks to us in our sleep because it's the only time he really can get through. And usually it's very symbolic. So like if everything we're looking at in the world is symbolic, same thing with dreams. I'm going to do a call-in dream show one day. I did it on Marv's show. It was really, I enjoyed it. Some people said that I wasn't going fast enough. Some of the people were upset because they wanted to get all their dreams in, but you know, sometimes it takes a little while to interpret these dreams, and sometimes just one dream can have meaning for so many people. So I don't really rush these things. So maybe I'll do it on my show, and you all can call in. But dreams are important, so I pay attention to them. Now, I've been talking about the Stone of Destiny a lot. It's not something that it seems like I've been talking about it for years because I knew it was going to be important. I just didn't know when. I didn't know why. But now here we are. And the best part is we're about to witness something huge with this Stone of Destiny. Huge. So guess what ship catches on fire on May Day? 60 passengers are rescued as a ferry catches fire. Now, here's the wild thing. Okay? The wild thing is this ferry, this passenger ferry, named the Pentalina. Lena, by the way, means sunlight. It also refers to the olive crown used for a hero. Penta, I think, is 5, right? 5 wounds of Christ. So the name of the ship alone carries significant spiritual height and depth and weight. But where it actually landed is just, it's just too much for me to bear. It landed on St. Margaret's Hope, which happens to be at Edinburgh Castle, which happens to be where the Stone of Destiny supposedly resides, where it was. Stone of Destiny was literally there before it was transported for the coronation, right? So I have a dream of a ship catching fire. The crew and the captain, they put the fire out, everybody's fine. And as I'm researching this show, you better smash the like for this, because this wasn't like something, like for the first couple of days, I was looking like ships catch fire, because I felt like it was important. But I forgot about it until I was putting this show together and looking for stuff about the Stone of Destiny. And all of a sudden, I type in Mayday and I get Mayday, the ship. What are the odds? What are the odds that 60 passengers are rescued after the captain and the crew put out the fire, days after I have a dream about a ship catching fire where the captain and the crew put it out? Eating food is very symbolic of spiritual things, and we're all eating some spiritual food right now. I hope you are eating it all up. Sam, I love you too, man. I appreciate all of you in the live chat. Thank you for coming. Raven says, Spirit Miracle. Wow, good one. Jacob's Pillow. That's right, Lone. That's where this ship where Jacob's Pillow is stored. Stone of Destiny, Edinburgh Castle. St. Margaret's Hope, St. Margaret's Chapel, the first one built. A fiery ship goes aground where the Stone of Destiny is found? That's just interesting. But it gets more interesting because St. Margaret, I don't know if you know this, she's the patron saint of guess what? Because we're all talking about birth here, right? I travail in birth until Christ be formed in you, Paul screams. It's about birth. I told you September 23rd, that sign that took place. I said it was like you were being pregnant with possibility. Everybody's like, oh, the rapture's going to come. You're going to be poofed away. And I'm like, no. It's like this is the last harvest. You got possibility inside of you. You got the Spirit of the living God inside of you coming to life. Back from the dead, raising the dead, those that hear me, Jesus said. Because I am the resurrection and the life, Jesus said. Though they be dead, if they hear me, they are back to life again. So if you hear the truth of God, ooh, this is an important thing. Especially when you realize that this woman, St. Margaret, is the patron saint of expectant mothers. In particular, mothers that have a terrible, terrible time with labor. Labor pains, baby. Labor pains. St. Margaret's. Stone of Destiny. Ship catches on fire. Patron saint. Why is this important? Because of the woman in Revelation, my friends. The woman in Revelation and the dragon. Now, do you know what what Margaret, her symbol is, her emblem? Is a dragon. Because of her trials. One of her trials was the woman was swallowed by Satan, disguised as a dragon. We've been swallowed by Satan, disguised as a dragon. Beast system. Big red dragon. You want to talk about the political system, the religious system, you want to talk about it, doesn't matter. We've been swallowed by it. But guess what happens to Margaret? Doesn't sit right in that belly. Just like Jonah was spit up out of that great beast, we're going to be spit up out of this system, because that's what happened to St. Margaret. Satan rejected her, opened her up, and let her out unharmed. And a great sign appeared in the sky. A woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet. And on her head was a crown of 12 stars. She was with child and wailed around in pain as she labored to give birth. Then another sign appeared in the sky. It was a huge red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. We know of a red dragon in the world that's connected to 7 heads and 10 horns. And on its heads were 7 diadems. Its tail, remember the tail, the lie, swept away a third of the stars and hurled them into the earth. The dragon stood before the woman about to give birth to devour the child, just like Margaret was supposedly devoured by the dragon. When she gave birth to a son, though, a male child, destined to rule all the nations with an iron rod. Her child caught up to God and his throne. The woman herself fled into the desert, the wilderness, where she had a place prepared for God. When we're set free from Egypt and we are sent into the wilderness, God has a place for us. He feeds us with manna, which means, what is it? We don't even know. But it's going to be there for us. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I think that dream that I had, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that, Levi. Levi wrote 1111. That's a great super chat too. He writes, this movie is about to go. God, the true kings are about to get coronated. Right! That's the thing. While it's happening in the world naturally, God is doing it spiritually. There's always the enemy's counterfeit. Don't pledge your allegiance to a man. God is not a man that he should lie, nor is he the son of man that he should repent. That's in, I think, the book of Numbers. Pledge yourself to God. Pray to God. Seek God. And get excited. Whew. The ship may be on fire. The captain's going to put that fire out, baby. And he's going to bring us to shore where Jacob's pillow, my pillow, the stone of destiny, stone of Scoon, the capstone, the headstone, Christ himself is stored. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. You know how I know that the dragon's not going to be an issue? Because on the same day all this is going down, St. George Day, the guy who slays the dragon, May 6th. All right. I love each and every one of you. Do me a favor if you want to support the channel, you want to help me, you can go into the description of the video. You can get yourself some merch. You can get yourself, like, the God's Champion stuff's going away because I did it the wrong way. So I don't know how much more time we got with that. So I would say if you want to get yourself some God's Champion merch, you could do that. That's huge help to me. The book is huge help really to you. The novel, there's more to it than you know. I got an email from somebody who's interested in some supposed big company. I don't know. I think when I get these emails, I think they're great until I know that they're true. But I will say what is true is that I am going to be in this Mandela Effect movie that's coming up May 15th. I'm taping. They're flying in and I don't know, we're going to shoot at some really cool location, maybe like an observatory or I don't know, a spaceship. I don't know what we're going to shoot, but it's going to be cool. So that's exciting. Got a lot of exciting things. This is going to be a big year for us. Just remember, you're okay. You're okay. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the videos around, tell your friends, have the best day ever. I love you. Don't forget that you can't fail. Even though it looks horrible, even though you feel like your back's against the wall, you can't fail. Told you, the ship may be on fire. The captain's in charge. Put the fires out. We'll get you that new house. We'll get you that new place to stay. We'll get you that new car that you need. We'll get you that ride to work. We'll get you that new job. We'll get you this. We'll get you anything you need. God is bigger than you are. Not by your might, not by your power, but by God's Spirit, these things are going to be done. It's Omega. Oh my God. How about them elves? I love each and every one of y'all.